I'm used to hearing it's a matter of time before anything I'm hoping for is sure to be mine. And I do believe it, and I get to receive it as I keep these words in my mind each and every time. Just prepare for it. Just prepare for it. Who knows it could happen tonight, and it could happen to knows. But who really knows? Who knows? But who really knows? Death sneaks upon you like a thief in the night. Since we're not sure if it's a robber, we gotta live right, though we might get distracted by the things that are outside. We can't go blindly when we enter the light. Before we enter the light, just prepare for it. Just prepare for it. Who knows it could happen tonight, and it could happen to knows. But who really knows? Who knows? But who really knows?
Nobody hyper than Blacker representing for overall setting.
We gotta give thanks. We got to give thanks, yes, for the ones that come before us, and we gotta shake hands. Hi, this is Singing Melody, and I'll be on the Overall Settings podcast.
Overall setting.
Yeah, me now, overall settings.
Ashes, burn them down all the way. Don't know, Rastama represent for overall settings.
Man, it's all about overall settings.
It's all about overall.
Live on the Overall Setting podcast.
Overall settings. Watch your friends, watch your friends, watch your keeper. Watch your friends, watch your friends, watch your keeper. Watch your friends, know your friends. Overall settings, turn up the ends.
Give thanks to the Father. I make chief go so I great go farther. I give thanks for life, for love, for liberty. I give thanks in the morning when I rise up to see a next beautiful day with my eyes. Whole a meditation, free up my mind. I'ma thank the Trinity, feel blessed I with life. I give thanks in the morning when I rise up to see a next beautiful day with my eyes. Whole a meditation, free up my mind. I'ma thank the Trinity, feel blessed I am on a journey. True life, such a wonderful journey. Yes, a true time, many things I've seen. Give thanks to the Father. I make chief go so I great go farther. I give thanks for life, for love, for liberty. I give thanks in the morning when I rise up to see a next beautiful day with my eyes. Whole a meditation, free up my mind. I'ma thank the Trinity, feel blessed I with life. I give thanks in the morning when I rise up to see a next beautiful day with my eyes. Whole a meditation, free up my mind. I'ma thank the Trinity, feel blessed I am on a journey. True life, such a wonderful journey. Yes, a true time, many things I've seen with my eyes. Wisdom is strength, you better stay wise. Be careful of the snakes and the parasites. Look out for the Pharisees and them dirty spies. Watch for the wolves in a sheep disguise. And you better free the shadows where you lurk after. Oh, by the blessings of the Most High, the thing I shine bright. Every time we roll him, I feel with tour guide. Omnipresence is always by my side. Every time we step out in a love we arrive. That's why I give thanks in the morning when I rise up to see a next beautiful day with my eyes. Whole a meditation, free up my mind. I'ma thank the Trinity, feel blessed I with life. I give thanks in the morning when I rise up to see a next beautiful day with my eyes. Whole a meditation, free up my mind. I'ma thank the the Trinity, we bless I. You know see this world is polluted with destruction. Art is pure, them a move with vengeance. So them smiling at your face, behind your back a different action. Scheming and a plotting and a plan. One come take for your life with all them M1 weapon. Sit and observe what kind of move them depend. We switch it and we take it to a different version. Now them a free, all the thing depend the radio station. Them shoulda know, we not take no devil program. Blessings are the most high, the thing a shine bright. Every time we roll, him happy with tour guide. Omnipresence is always by my side. Every time we step in our love, we arrive. That's why I give thanks in the morning when I rise. If you see a next beautiful day with my eyes, all a meditation free up my mind. I'ma thank the Trinity, we bless I with life. I give thanks in the morning when I rise. If you see a next beautiful day with my eyes, all a meditation free up my mind. I'ma thank the Trinity, we bless I. Me glad me never take the wrong road, because right I know we coulda lost. No, me say, yo I know for them pass out on the journey, because them want go floss out. For the most high chief, I grade go all out. Him a guide and a show me the right road. Me say, pagans them get wiped out, trampled down with word powers and sound. Call his name, love surround the compound. So help me right and no one just sing his praise loud. That's why I give thanks in the morning when I rise. If you see a next beautiful day with my eyes, all a meditation free up my mind. I'ma thank the Trinity, we bless I with life. I give thanks in the morning when I rise. If you see a next beautiful day with my eyes, all a meditation free up my mind. I'ma thank the Trinity, we bless I am a
Overall Setting Podcast. Overall Settings. You know you are the leader now. You're taking over with speed now. Overall Settings. Yes, you're on the go. Everybody want to watch your show. You're watching Overall Settings Podcast. Boom, Overall Settings.
Big up Toughy Melody anyway, stand up youth, cause you don't know. You're one of the true supporters for the platform. You know me, I say. Very talented artist. Artist who I just play a while ago, Higher Grade, was actually a past guest on the show. And you don't know, behind every great artist, there's a management team. You know, somebody who is appointed to bring that artist to the next level. You know me, I say. And I agree as one L of a management team behind him. You know me, I say. The young lady who is responsible and who has been appointed, whose appointed duty it's become to bring this artist to the forefront, happens to be here with us tonight, and we have the pleasure of having her on the platform. And I was actually on her platform earlier this week. I very seldom get intimidated, you know, because, you know, I've been doing this for quite some time now. So, you know, if I've been doing it for the amount of time I've been doing it, then, you know, it's supposed to reach a point where it coming like clockwork. But whenever I have the opportunity to sit down and hold a vibes with somebody who actually does journalism with me not being your traditional journalist, I have, you know, a case of the butterflies that instantaneously start to take over me. You know what I mean? So tonight we have somebody who, as I said, is in charge of a platform, who also is responsible for artists, who wears many hats within this music industry. You know what I mean? And you don't know, Overall Settings is the podcast that differs, where we always try to highlight the artists of yesteryear who chop the bush them for the current icons of today. You know what I mean? And, you know, but one of the things that we pride ourselves on is always digging up the diamond them in the rough where the people them don't know about. So whether it be by way of, you know, someone that's behind the scenes doing the work, you know, like this guest that we have tonight, are the artists them that you simply just don't know about. You know, Master, you know what I mean? So tonight is no different as we welcome to the platform Hempress Selektress.
a very warm overall settings welcome. Wagwan,
Thank you. Thank
wagwan, wagwan.
thank you. Thank you so much. That was a great welcome. Thank you for having me on Overall Settings. It is a pleasure and a privilege.
Yeah, man, for real, man. I mean, it's like you have you have quite a resume, you know what I mean? And it's not like a resume that okay, you did this and then you stop. All of these things that are on your resume are things that you're currently doing right now. You know what I mean? In the midst of all of that, you're still a mom, to two young ladies, and you know what I mean? So it's like you have a lot going on, you know what I mean? But at the end of the day, you still seem to seamlessly just like jump from one duty to the next, and you're doing what you need to do in order to get things done. So where did your infatuation for the music business begin, and what was your point of entry?
Wow. Okay. So I've always loved music. Always, always loved music. So that's, you follow the music, right? So where there's good music, good artists, you're there. So some years back, over 10 years ago, social media, Facebook had started. That's when they started the groups on Facebook.
Mhm.
So it was a lot of artists because I was doing like promotions and things like that. Like I had a street team, I have a modeling agency, so I had my models, out there pushing the artist music. They would give me their music. I have my models out there. So as I said, you follow the music and things like that. So they had these groups, you know what I'm saying? And everybody would link up and have these meetups and things like that. So I would always be like, I'm a very organized person, you know what I mean? So I would always be the person like, okay, if we're linking up, who's bringing what? Like, who's bringing the drinks and who's bringing food and who's bringing napkins and like every little thing, like details, right? So it started to be like when these little meetups would happen, and like I said, it's a bunch of artists, people in the industry, people in the business, and everybody would link up. They would just come to me like, "Yo, Fancy, like, who's doing what and wait." So I was just appointed responsible for that. So in that process, there was an artist who, a younger artist, and he was had been doing his thing, had some hits locally in Dallas where I was living, and so he needed a manager, and I'm like, I don't, manage artists. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is not something, he's like, no, he said, you're organized, you have all the skills, you have everything it takes, you know what I'm saying? I need somebody to make sure all my stuff is, you know what I mean? And this, that, and organize. I'm like, he's like, you have it. I see it. You're just doing this with a bunch of artists in these groups, and this is just, linking up. So if you put that into business, like you would be awesome with this. I'm like, okay. So it started from there. I started with one artist. I started a company called Fancy Connections. That's my business. And from there, I was promoting artists. I managed artists. I did consulting. It led me to being an A&R for Universal.
Oh wow.
So I was doing like a lot. Jeezy, like years ago, Jeezy came to Dallas and put on an event. His people found me. Like I knew I was doing my thing because like his people found me. They're like, yo, you're doing these events. We need the talent over here. So I was like orchestrating this event to get the people to get signed up to go over to the event. Like I did a lot of things. So with that type of exposure and touching different areas, people were like, Fancy Connections, like, yo, we want, So I had like five artists at one time. I was managing five artists.
Wow.
And out of all of those artists, currently the only one that's still remaining from day one, my day one is Train. He's a hip hop rap artist out of Dallas, Texas. And I mean, that's my longest standing artist. And it was because the way that artists were perceiving how the industry go or what the role and duties of a manager was, They weren't quite understanding. And then it's like once they got a manager, they quit promoting themselves, they quit doing the work, and they became lazy, and like everything was like now my responsibility. I'm like, that's just not how it works. You know what I mean? So the only person out of all of that who had that understanding, you know, in the business sense and business savvy was trained. So, and then it kind of got hectic trying to manage a whole bunch, and I was just being pulled in so many different directions. So I just kind of, you know, stuck to one artist, and that's how it started.
So I know you said that you actually live in Texas. So
Mhm.
where are you from originally?
Originally, I'm from Virginia. That's where I was born, in
Okay,
Virginia.
okay, okay. So I mean, I noticed that you also have, you know, a few dancehall artists to your roster. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Um, was there a lure, you know, like how do you pick and choose what artists mix with your managing style? Is there a certain reason why, you know, you started to take on reggae artists as well, you know what I mean, in that regard, you know what I mean, like what was your lure to a different genre, you know what I mean, if you initially didn't even want to go into the business, and you know, Train was the one who inspired you. So like, you know, with that being a tall task one in itself, you know what I mean, and then you know, obviously learn to do what it takes. You were already doing it, but somebody had to kind of like wake up that light inside of you and say, yo, you're already doing it. You know what I mean? So, you know, so what made you feel that verse to even step into another genre?
Okay, so I like I said, I was doing events like promotions. I would do an event like once a month at least, you know, like something big for a lot of indie artists and things like that. So, you know, as an event planner, you're putting events together. You have to have the DJ and you know all of that, the whole everything. So, I mean, I would do that. So there was this female DJ in Dallas that was already, you know, like doing her thing and everything. And she was doing a fundraiser, charity type of a thing for her cause. And I wanted to support, you know, and it was like a DJ boot camp type of thing. And she's African, but she plays, you know, mostly Caribbean music, like reggae, African music, all that. So and that's a part of my culture, like you know, Jamaican is in my family. So I've always loved reggae music, and I know her from frequenting the spot, you know, that she plays. So that's how I found out about it. So fast forward, I take the class because I want to support. And my reason for taking it was because, you know, if I'm putting together all these events and then a DJ is stuck in traffic or they get, you know, they're late for whatever reason, and I have a building full of people and there's no sound, it's like I can't go push the button, you know, I can't go do anything to get the, you know. So that's how I started to DJ. And the music that I like the most is like reggae music, you know. So that's where it kind of came into switching from working with more of the hip hop and rap artists to coming into like the reggae genre. So it's like being when you play the music and you're around the artist and in the club and things like that, then you start to you know, with meet the reggae artists and things like that. So that's how I met Firestar. So I started, Firestar is a great, talented, you know, reggae artist, out international artist out of Jamaica. And he is a part of Lava Ground with Irene and all them, you know what I mean? And so I met him and I heard some of his music and I'm just like, oh my God, you know, I just thought it was random. Like, people need to hear this, people need to hear this.
Yeah.
So he's just like, yeah, and he does really good with promoting himself as an artist and things like that. So I started working with him like as his publicist to just kind of help get his stuff out there for people to, you know, hear it. And because I like it, you know, like I said, I like reggae music, so that's how it is. And then from there, just being introduced to people and being around people, then I just started working with more reggae artists.
Right. I mean, trust me, because you know, I'm like in awe, you know, by just what I've seen, like on the surface of, you know, like just knowing you for this short amount of time. Like you seem like you mentioned earlier on when you embarked on your journey, how precise you were, you know what I mean, like with everything. And, I get that sense with, how you juggle all of the different duties that you have, because, we haven't even gotten to the point where, we've talked about the sound system, even though you kind of like invoke that into the conversation.
Mm-hmm.
But, with the management, and then, like you said, the young lady who kind of introduced you into like the DJ boot camp, you know what I mean? The management of artists, the management of models, you know what I mean? You are definitely a force to be reckoned with within
Thank you.
within this industry, you know what I mean? Because you do a very thorough job at what you do. You know what I mean? So like what are some of your day-to-day duties when it comes to like managing, these artists? And is there a certain way you go about it when it comes to the genre, or is everything kind of like cut and dry, the same approach?
Well, I would. There's like a there's some sort of requirements. Yes, the number one thing is understanding the business, like being familiar with the business and understand how the business works. Because that was part of the reason why I had to kind of separate from some of the artists that I was previously working with, because they don't understand the business, you know. And even if you have somebody designated to take care of your business, you still need to kind of know what's going on, because the way I see it as an artist, you're your own entity. You're a business. You're a corporation. You know what I'm saying? You're the CEO. You're the boss. You know what I'm saying? So you have to appoint people to handle things. You know what I'm saying? And if you don't see yourself in that way, and you're not willing to invest the time that it takes to be a business, run your business, you know, if you're not trying to promote yourself, invest in yourself, because this music industry is not free. One of my earlier mentors, she she had produced a song for one of these a local rapper, and she told me it took like $50,000, you know what I'm saying, from beginning to end, to do everything that she had to do to get this artist like on the radio. You know what I'm saying? And like out there, people know him and he's being booked. Like they had to invest that. And I'm not saying that that's how much it takes for everybody. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is the fact that, you know, she let me know early on that I had, you know, artists have to be willing to invest in themselves to a certain extent. You know what I mean? It depends on what their goals are. So that's another thing. Like, what are your goals as an artist? Where are you trying to reach? What, you know what I'm saying? Do you want to make money? Or do you just want to be out here famous? Or, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's a difference, and there's an approach that you have to take depending on what it is the artist wants, and thereafter, like, what is their goal? You know what I'm saying? So those are the basic requirements, you know what I mean? For me to even look at your music. And then it's the music, you know, what are you talking about? Like,
Right.
what are you singing about? What are you rapping about? What are you talking about in
Right.
your music? Are you degrading women, or are you uplifting women? You know what I'm saying? Are you trying to give a conscious message to the people? Are you further giving them this low vibrational stuff that is not, you know, I'm not with it. You know what I mean? And I'm not degrading or down, you know, talking any artist that do what you do. But when
Right.
it comes to me wanting to work with you and putting my name and my energy behind your brand to promote you, it has to be of certain content and a
Right.
certain standard.
Right. No, totally understandable. Totally understandable. I mean, so them ask a question. There's this famous universal question all over the world being asked, and I don't know if anybody has actually got the answer to the question as yet. But they say, what came first, the chicken or the egg? I'm pretty sure you've heard that question.
Yeah,
All right, so what came first, the selecting or the management?
the management.
Okay, so I mean, I'm hearing all of these dub plates from these, these like established artists, and
Mhm.
not only are these dub plates like, I mean, cause you can't have a gun, or you can't have a fast car, but you don't necessarily know how to navigate
Yeah,
that car, or you can have your gun, but you don't necessarily have to be a gunman. You know how to shoot. You know what I mean? So like, where did that knowledge of the music come from? You know what I mean? I mean, I know you said you have a Jamaican background, you know what I mean? But like, and not every Jamaican know how to play sound system. You know what I mean?
True.
Like, so especially like, and it's not necessarily that popular within the female aspect of things. You know what I mean? So how did your passion for that begin? And how did you start to develop these links to, ultimately not only be a selector, a sound owner, but in ultimately turn it into the platform that you have today?
Okay, so as far as the selecting, right, it's a very competitive market. I think any selector DJ would say the same. You have to have something or some help, support. There's just a lot of things. So it's the market's very competitive, and from my experience, especially in the Caribbean market, it's very competitive. So and in Dallas, it's very small. It's small as well. So the community is kind of small, and it's very close, tight knit, you know what I mean? So, that sometimes you have to make your own way, you know what I'm saying? You have to create your own lane, you know what I'm saying? So, with there not being much opportunity for another female selectress in the city, I went in and created the next avenue, which is Culture Vibes Radio Show, with the help of the owner of Kingdom Nubia Radio, Daja, Positive Journey, every Tuesday, pick up yourself, knr1.com. That's my brethren. He was just like, you can play music now, so why don't you, have a spot on my radio station? And I'm just like, well, what am I gonna do? And he's just like, I don't know, like, you do whatever you want to do, and that's how the platform Culture Vibes was created, so that I could, play my music, reach people, let other people hear me, you know what I mean? And then from then till now, it's just been evolving. It's constantly changing, growing. I have so many different themes on the show to have all kinds of people, not just artists, entrepreneurs, you know what I'm saying? Just anybody, if you have something that you're doing and you want people to know about it, and it's of some type of essence, importance to the culture, I'm that's what I'm here for. Like, I want to give everybody that opportunity. So that's how Culture Vibes was born, as far as my platform and having a radio show and playing music. So then time going on, and like I said, seeing how it's very competitive community, and it's competitive amongst the men, like super. So it's like even harder for women, you know what I mean? So me feeling this, like directly feeling this, like I'm not talking about something and saying, oh, somebody is experiencing this, and somebody, like, I'm firsthand feeling it and dealing with it, you know what I'm saying, as a female selector. So I'm like, well, if there's other female selectors that's out there, that's a female DJ, they can play music, or they want to learn how to play music, you know what I'm saying? Then I want to create a platform for that as well, you know what I mean? So they can feel like, oh, if Hempress Selektress can do it, then I can do it too. And not only can you do it too, I'm going to help you. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I created Queen Tribe Sound. That's my sound, and it's a all female, hence the name Queen Tribe. So it's like we're a tribe, it's a bunch of us. So it's like you can be from any culture, any background, you know what I'm saying? You don't have to just be this, that. We're a tribe, it's a collective. We play all genres of music. So you're not, even if I may like a certain genre, a next selectress may play a whole different genre. You know what I'm saying? So it's like if you book Queen Tribe as a sound for an event, you're covered from A to Z, because everybody can play. Everybody has their own thing that they do well. So that's the way. And if I have some people who fully support, like they want to support the sound, but they're not maybe wanting to be out in front stage and playing the music in front of, they don't want to do that, but at the same time they want to support. So I created what is called honorary queens for my sound. So those are people, the queens, who want to come in and help and support the movement, help empower other women, but they just may not want to play music. That's just not their thing. So
Right. I mean, I think you're being a bit modest because, like, you're a bad selectress, what I mean?
thank you.
And stuff like that doesn't really, it's like that's not for every selecting. I mean, and I could speak from a personal experience, being a wire selector per se. I've played several sounds, I align myself and with some of the top selectors and sounds in the business. And, so even outside of being an artist, that was one of my true passions. And when you speak to the competitiveness of the business, that's very true. But I'm saying that, all right, you chose when you put a stigma or a title like sound system, so it's predominantly like if you were to say, all right, I'm a mixologist or I'm a DJ or whatever, but when you say sound system, when you
Mhm.
say Hempress Selektress, then you're waving like a Jamaican dancehall banner in a sense.
Mhm.
So I guess what I'm trying to get a better understanding of is why did you choose that particular avenue? Like, what was the epiphany or the inspiration behind saying, all right, I'm not just going to be a DJ, I'm actually going to be a selector, I'm actually going to build a sound system opposed to, just people booking me for parties or having a radio station. Like, I'm going to do the traditional reggae. Like, what was the inspiration behind that aspect of it?
Well, I'm thankful and I'm blessed. I'm very grateful to the people who I have around me over the years on my journey, through this musical business and industry and stuff. So um I was influenced by a particular artist that felt like you play music, you need jingles, you need dubs, you need this, because I wasn't I honestly wasn't going about it in that wasn't the way that it started out. I was just like, like you said, I'm just gonna play music, be booked for these events. I'm Empress Selektress, hear me, my show is Culture Vibes. It was just kind of that. And then they're like, no man, you play, you gotta clash some people. I'm like, whoa, we're moving a tad bit too fast, clashing. Like, what? Slow down, pump the brakes just a little bit. You're taking it too fast. You know what I'm saying? So it was like, no, man, very for real. Like, you play good, you play better than enough of these mine. And I'm like, what? Because I'm not a competitive person in that manner. Like, I don't want to, I just want to do me. I want to do my thing. So when other people kind of point out, oh, you're this and you can do that, and I'm just like, okay. So he got some dubs for me from some great artists, you know what I'm saying? And I'm hearing these artists and it's like Empress Electric's a kill sound. I'm like, what? Like me, and so from there it's like, yeah, from you do that, like you're a sound, like, you have to, and so that's what sparked the idea, like, okay, if I'm gonna be doing this and have a sound, and I'm gonna build it to where it's just for women, and I have like other ideas in the works to have something. I'm just gonna put it out there. It's called King Tribe Sound. So I'm like currently building the sound for the men. You know what I mean? Because I don't want it to be the same thing. Like, I strictly want to do something to empower women so women can have a certain platform and a place to feel comfortable. And it has nothing to do with no, just women, just us, because we can bond a certain way, but I don't want to leave the men out. There's some great DJs out there, and I'm trying to build like this whole kind of a musical empire. Like, I don't want to just be doing this and doing that. Like, I want to be doing a whole bunch of things, like, which is why I have so many different business venture companies and wear different hats.
So, like I said, we've talked about management, briefly. We talked about, entrepreneurship as far as, you being the CEO of a platform, that also, is a sound system. So that's like 3 or 4 hats right there. May I go fling a trick question
Trick question. Okay.
into the mix. What is a hidden talent that Hempress Selektress has that probably no one knows about?
Well, they're gonna soon find out, but gosh, only you will put me on the spot like this. Well, they're gonna soon find out that I can uh do music. Like
Wow.
I wouldn't call myself an artist per se, but I definitely am gonna have a couple of songs out, and people will know that I can make music.
Once again, you're being modest because a little birdie just told me that you have $1 million voice. A million,
Oh my god!
$1 million is a lot of money by everybody's standards. I mean, even with the dollar being so weak in Jamaica, if you tell somebody right now, yo, me I give you $1 million, I still will heap of money that.
Yeah.
So, like I said, I heard from someone that you're gonna put your vocals on a track.
Hmm.
Um, and not only did they say, "No, she's gonna do a little thing." No, they didn't. They said, "quote unquote," ask her about the $1 million voice that she's gonna put on this track. So, with that being said, you were one of the few people who were actually going to be allowed to escape from the daunting task of, like, giving us like a live dub plate. But
Oh no 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 no! I am no. Oh my god. Okay. See, first of all, you already have you spill the beans about the music. Like that's already yo.
it
It's
doesn't have,
not.
it doesn't have to be right now. It doesn't have to be right now. It has to be before the show is over.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
All right, even if it's not a dub plate, you could do like a little acapella so we can hear your voice. You know what I mean?
I'll think about it. We'll see if I can muster up the courage by the end of the show to drop like 4 bars of my song. It's not even.
Or,
It's
or
not
maybe,
even finished.
or maybe it's because it's $1 million voice. You're not just too eager to share it with anyone without us putting up some money to hear it. I mean, I don't know.
Well, it's just, I mean, honestly, it's gonna be different and it's gonna be shocking to some people. And I actually had, I was an artist on my show. And this was a while ago, like at least a couple years. He was like maybe a year or two. He was on my show and he was like, "Yo, your voice." He was like, "I got to get you on a track." And da da da. I'm just like, I don't do music. I play music. I'm not, the way he was like, "No, Empress for real." I'm just like, he's like, "You don't even know, but it would be great." Da 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 da. I'm just like, all right. So I just kind of brushed it off. And then you know how kind of when you think about things, it's like, and then like I had a next person to say to me, "Is like, yo, you need to do a track." Da, 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 da. I'm like, why is everybody saying this? Like, this is not what I'm trying to do. Like, this is not, I mean, I have always wanted to do like one song. And from I actually put that in the universe and said that to somebody, I mean, literally in one conversation, they went from one song to 3 tracks. And then when they told somebody like, okay, I'm gonna do 3 tracks so I can kind of show my versatility, you know what I'm saying? They're like, no, you need to do like a whole little EP, you know what I mean? So it's now it's a project. Now it's not like a theory. It's like I've been to the studio, we've done the first verse, the hook is fire, you know what I'm saying?
Well,
And
I don't know if you can see this question on the screen, but someone actually did ask you this question. Can you see this question?
when did you start recording music?
Hmm.
Just now. I just now, like 20, what is this, 2021? Like went to the studio just now. Like the producer I was supposed to go to the studio today. Huh? I was supposed to go to the studio today, but there's just a lot going, so I wasn't gonna be that just wasn't gonna happen. But yeah, the producer's like, when are we going to finish, the song? Because I've been so busy, as you see, I have a lot going on. So I've got to get back in the studio, finish that up so that I can get it out there for everybody to hear and I can be officially, having recorded my first song.
Right, 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 right. Well, I mean, I'm looking forward to hearing whatever it is you have, whatever musical offering you have to put out there. You know what I mean?
Thanks.
Like I said, and if it's if the other work that you do within this industry is any indication of what's to come, then I know that the world, it's something for the world to look forward to. Um, Collectively, within this music industry, we're putting
Mhm.
everything under one umbrella.
Okay.
Because I don't want to ask you about each specific role that you play in this business, but what are some of the challenges that you face as a female in the business overall?
Overall, how can I put this delicately? Um, I am a very professional person.
Mm-hmm.
So when I handle my business, my artist business, I'm very professional. You know what I mean? I like to, because I don't even work with people unless they're, have some professionalism. You know what I mean? So if I'm working with an artist and they're professional, then they're gonna expect the same from me. Like I require that of myself. You know what I'm saying? To be that way, so that there's no mix up and no gossip and drama and these type of things going around, and me giving a bad image of myself or of the people that I represent. So I'm very professional. So the challenge that I typically face in this industry overall is getting the same level of professionalism from men. If you understand what I'm saying, it's
Oh, no,
like,
totally. Mhm.
so it's a challenge because I'm nice. I'm a nice person, you know what I mean? But I'm professional at the same time. So it's like sometimes people cross lines and boundaries and things like that. And it's like, so as a woman, it's like if you're just kind of like, oh, that's nice, cute, whatever, but it's we're doing business here. Like, it's like some guys will take it as a like a rejection type of thing. And then therefore, whatever opportunities were there, whatever business we were discussing that was there, it's no longer there because Empress is not in crossing lines because I'm not doing that. So now the opportunities are now off the table. So it's like, you know what I mean? That's like the biggest challenge for me. You know what I mean? Because anything else, like I said, it was a challenge for me in this Dallas community as far as being not just a selectress, because like I said, amongst the men, it's competitive. But even as a woman trying to break in, like I'll create my own avenues. You know what I'm saying? Like you can't close a door and I'm just like, okay, done deal, door closed, mega set on. No, I'm gonna find, you know what I mean, some next avenue, some way to accomplish what it is that I want to do. You know what I mean? So those things that are challenges, yes, it's challenges, but there's way you can, get around and make things happen. But when you reach a certain point and it's business and it's like this is that moment or this is that opportunity that can take you to the next level or get you more exposure or get you into this door and that door, and you're working hard. Like I'm working hard doing what I'm doing, and then because I remain professional, opportunities are no longer available. Like that's a challenge. You know what I mean? So it's like if more women, were in places. That's why I want to empower women as well, because it's like if we have more women in places to make this thing more equal across the board, then we don't have to feel like all of the opportunities are held, or not all of them, but a lot of the opportunities are held where the decision maker is a male. And if you don't comply with whatever, they require, then you're stuck. You don't have certain opportunities. So
So, on the flip side of that question, what would you say is one of your biggest, or I would say, proudest moments within this industry?
my proudest moments. Okay. So I guess there's two. My two proudest moments. The first one was my first booking. The first time that I got booked to DJ. Here in Dallas, big up Firestein and where you at? You know what I'm saying, my brethren. You know what I'm saying. I got booked for an event and I got to play, and it was nice. It was so I was really proud because it was an opportunity that people weren't, because I was new. It was like right when I think I had just finished the boot camp maybe 3 or 4 months. So that was like super early. Like I didn't have any type of experience. That wasn't even a whole year. You know what I mean? We're talking months in, and I was booked. And then my second proudest moments, well, it's just as proud to me, but it came second, was when I was booked in Canada to play at an event, which made me now an international artist.
Oh,
I
wow.
mean, an international DJ.
Oh,
So big up higher grade anywhere you're there. You know what I'm saying? We are do it. It
mm,
was a big bash, and I was, flown in to DJ, to do my thing, you know what I'm saying? And it was an amazing experience, you know what I'm saying? And I was super proud because I'm an international DJ now, you know what I'm saying? And it's because of that opportunity that, I got from iGrade that made me that. So those are like right now, like my biggest
big
accomplishments.
up, big up, big up. I agree. You know, man, I say, very progressive, talented artist. You know, what I mean, and for you to stay as far as you were, and capture the attention of, such a phenomenal artist who actually entrust you with his destiny, you know what I mean, and speaks very highly of you and is very confident in your ability to bring him to the next level. And I mean that to me, speaks volumes. You know what I mean, if you're making that type of noise from where you are, you know what I mean, because he's in a whole nother country. You know what I mean?
And at that time, mind you, at that time, I didn't manage him.
See, Master?
That was like when we the like first meeting, getting to this. So I didn't even there was no business on the table or no discussion about me managing him. And that kind of came later. Like, at that time, it was none of that. You know what I'm saying? It was just, you know,
Exactly.
organic.
Exactly. Big up to Mermaid World, Panel Live,
Big
actress
up mermaid.
extraordinaire, you know what I mean? Big up Joe Jackson, you know what I mean?
Big up Commander Joe. Anyway, you're dead. Big up, big up.
Joe Jackson, you know what I mean? That's a very famous name. You know,
Commander Joe.
yeah, man, big up Pangy Panel Live and big up the real prospect for making this link possible. You know what I mean?
Yes, big up prospect.
Yeah, man,
Everything.
bad artist, bad artist.
Mm-hmm.
And my next question to you is, let me say, and I'm putting an umbrella over this industry because, like I said, for you wear so many different hats within the industry, but at the same time, you're the industry nonetheless. You know what I mean? And whatever contribution you make to this industry's cause is still enhancing music overall. You know what I mean? So it's even if it's even behind the scenes, if it's even you lending your voice to a track, if it's even you bringing an artist to the next level, whatever it is, you're still making a contribution to this industry. So after it's all said and done, when you decide to either walk away willingly or unwillingly, you know what I mean? What do you expect to accomplish or to contribute or to take from, you know, your efforts that you've put forth?
Well, I think from the beginning, my goal, my purpose, and even like I said, the very first artist that led me up to, like I said, eventually working with Train. But from the beginning, like for me, it's to be able to help. You know what I'm saying? Like I honestly did not start managing, about money and things. It wasn't about that. You know what I mean? For me, it was about if there is something that I can do, some effort that I can put in to help this artist, strengthen this artist, guide them, give them some type of influence or knowledge or information, whatever it is that I can do, that I can contribute to their career. If it helps take them to the next level, you know what I'm saying? Or even if it doesn't take them to the next level, if you've never had an interview before and I get you an interview, that's something that I've contributed. You will always remember your first interview came from Hempress Selektress. You know what I'm saying? It's like if I book you somewhere or if I do whatever it is that I do, because like you said, under this, it's a lot that could happen. So whatever I do to contribute to the next artist, and not just an artist, like anybody in the business, if I can do something to influence you in a positive manner, to help your business, your career, whatever it is that you're doing, then to me, I'm successful. I've done what it is that I want to do. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I tell people this, Empress. Um, I learned this from a mentor of mine who's no longer among the living, but he lives within me. And I tell people this, and this is clearly speaking directly to what you just said, or to anybody out there who is aspiring to make a difference within the world. A lot of time we kind of like overlook, or they say comparison is the thief of joy. You know,
Mm-hmm.
so if you literally have a radio station and you only have two listeners, and you might look at the most popular radio station in your region, or the most popular radio station in the world, and you aspire to be them, hence you're not taking into consideration those two people who log in or look forward to seeing you log on, or turn on your station every single week. You know what I mean? So
Mm-hmm.
I say that to say that a lot of people aspire to make a difference within the world. And if you make a difference within one person's life who cohabitates within this world just like you,
Mm-hmm.
hence you've made a difference within the world.
Mm-hmm.
I spoke to one of your artists today. I agreed. We spoke earlier in the week
Mm-hmm.
collectively. We spoke on the platform, but he called me today with a gentleman from Paris,
Mm-hmm.
and he told me that him being on my platform was one of the best interviews that he ever had in his entire life. So when I set out on this journey to do this, I didn't even know that I was gonna have artists week in and week out. Special thanks to Mama Mermaid, you know what I mean, for making that a possibility.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? But I didn't know that I was gonna have that much of an impact on even one person's life. You know what I mean? Opposed to the 300 people that I've had the opportunity to interview, the person who I have coming on after you, the people who I have coming on tomorrow are the people for weeks and months and years to come, are the people that I've interviewed in the past. You know what I mean? So I say that to say that if your artist who you book for this show can tell me that this is the best interview that he's ever had in his life, then your aspirations have already been fulfilled. If you get what me I say.
I am not able to understand what you're saying right now. It is sounding very distorted.
You're not hearing me right now? Did somebody just try to call you?
I don't hear it.
All right. Log out and then log back in.
Okay.
We're here with Hempress Selektress live from Texas. You know what I mean? She manages three artists right now. She manages Higher Grade. She manages Big Train. You know what I mean? She also manages Fire. She's a radio personality. She's a sound system owner. She's also a selectress. You know what I mean? And among the other things that she does. You know what I mean? So if it's artists who want the exposure there, underneath it, lock in for a young lady. Hold on for a second.
Hear better now.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
All right. Did somebody just try to call you on that on your
You know what? I have my phone on Do Not Disturb, so maybe it tried while I don't know. I didn't get anything. Nothing interrupted.
Okay, a lot of times that's what happens. If somebody tries to call you, it literally just like obliterates.
Yeah, probably.
No, what I was saying is, Aya Gray told me today, disclosed to me today that this was the interview that we conducted together was the best interview that he's had in his life. And
Wow.
hearing that, and knowing that you made that possible because you're the one who brought him to our attention is already gives credence or gives substance to the aspirations that you want to accomplish before you leave this business. If somebody tells you that, or if somebody tells me that you brought to my attention that this is the best interview that they've ever had in their life, and you're the one who made that possible, then you're already on the right track. You've accomplished what you said you wanted to accomplish.
Mhm.
So, what I mean? And I say that to say, a lot of times we aspire to change the world when if you make a difference, a positive difference in one person's life within the same world, then hence you already made a difference in the world.
Yeah, and I want to say big up I agree because working with him, is definitely it's motivating. He's very determined, and works very hard. So it's like to manage an artist like that works really hard, it makes you work hard too. You know what I mean? Like they're putting forth the effort, so you're gonna want to put forth just as much effort, if not more. So, I have to say big up to I agree because, I definitely am trying to do exactly, what we just talked about, which is make a difference in his career, musically and stuff. He's a great businessman, you know what I'm saying, as well, has a lot of things going on. So like I said, a success overall, but musically, yeah, I'm doing what managers do to try to bring forth the music to different platforms. So, artists like Prospect, big up Prospect anywhere you're there, that you can link up with and they can make these type of links, it's amazing. Like I didn't even realize through just this whole thing, like linking up with you and Mermaid, like the family, settings that is being um cemented. You know what I mean? It's an amazing journey. So I'm just glad to have these great experiences along the way.
Mhm. And the pleasure is mine as well. The feeling is definitely mutual. It's always a pleasure to speak to you and will I vibe with you. Whether it's
Thanks.
on the ear or behind the scenes.
Hmm.
The energy is always the same. Nothing changes. So even when the lights turn on, it's not like you're this totally different person. Like
There,
you're the
thank you for saying that.
yeah, man, you're the same person, all around the board. And it's to be acknowledged, and respected and recognized as well, like cause over here at overall settings, we're all about giving people their flowers while they're here. So
Hmm.
if me talk this behind your back, me I go talk it in front of your face for the world.
Straight.
And I just that's it there. So what's outside of you lending your $1 million voice to this undisclosed project that we're
Hmm.
talking about? What's next on the agenda for Hempress Selektress?
Well, I'm definitely going to continue to work with my artists, the artists that I work with to, get them maximum exposure to help bring their careers to where they want it to be. Definitely going to be seeing more of that. Also, you're going to see more, I guess, of me doing music because it's therapeutic. It's yeah, I never aspired to be an artist, but having, started on that journey, I guess you could say, to making music, it's something that I like. So you'll definitely see more of that side. Definitely gonna see more of culture vibes, doing different things. I have a Twitch channel, like I'm on Twitch as Culture Vibes Radio Show. I'm definitely going to be doing that more to where people will be able to see me live because that is something that has been pushing me. People are like, yo, where's the live? Where's the live? Where's the live? I'm like, okay. So I started that. So you'll definitely see more of me live doing Culture Vibes radio show via Twitch. Hopefully other platforms as well. Continue to grow Queen Tribe Sound. I definitely want to, especially the young girls who are interested, to just kind of give them some type of insight and guidance along the way, because there's a lot of horror stories about in this business, about things going. And I want to be able to be an inspiration, a positive inspiration, to females, young ladies, women, queens, that want to do music. So you're definitely going to see Queen Tribe branching out, doing more, especially as the opportunity for like travel opens up. You'll definitely see me, in more places, spreading my joy, and playing music for people.
Once again, the Hempress is being modest. Um, she's yet to mention, what we have collectively cooking up for you guys out there. These aspiring artists. We have some things that we're discussing behind the scenes to make the journey a little bit easier.
Hmm.
We won't necessarily talk about it in detail right now, but trust me, the Empress a cook, bad chef, bad chef. And,
Yeah.
and I cook for a living, so what I mean. We're going to start to put some of our recipes together to
Hmm.
present a menu to you guys that you know um it's irresistibly wantable. I
Yes.
mean, so that's something that we're discussing behind the scenes. Big up I agree, I mean, you were in on the conversation. Big up Mermaid Settings, I mean, we're
Yeah.
backbone. Our backbone that. Man, I said
Hmm.
big up Mama anyway that, what I mean, right now, what I mean, Impress. One of the things, our disclaimer, our disclosure, one of the things that we tell everybody who comes over here, regardless of who they are, you can give people $1 million and they can go out and spin it on, excuse my language, fuckery,
Oh
or
yeah.
or they can lose it. Um, but the one thing that you can never give anyone in this lifetime and get back is your time. And with the amount of things that you have on your plate, being a mom and, you know, um, being a black woman in this society and being a businesswoman even outside of your musical endeavors and being a manager to all of these artists and everything that you've done thus far, and continue to do and aspire to do, we appreciate of the fact that you would take the time out, you know, to when you could be developing content for your own platform, making a closing a deal for your artists, doing something for your kids. We appreciate of the fact that you would take the time out to give us, if it's even a second of a time that you would never ever get back and spend it with us. And we appreciate of you for that. And we just want to tell you that.
Well, thank you. I definitely appreciate of you and mermaids, and the overall settings, platform, the whole everything that you offer. It's been a joy, to know you guys and be, on this platform, to be able to, because it's I'm always the person, like I'm in your seat. You know what I mean? Like I'm interviewing people, and a lot, and people don't really get to know what it is that I do. Like there's when some people see this, they're gonna be like, "Oh, I didn't know she do," because I'm not around just talking about everything that I do, because I don't really have time. It's like I'm moving, I'm just doing it. You know what I mean? So I don't really have time to just sit around and just, so to be able for you to take the time as well. I appreciate of you as well for taking your time to allow me to be on your platform to share, what it is that I do with everybody so they can get an understanding, you know, I'm sorry, an overstanding of what it is that I have going on and the many hats that, I wear because, a lot of times in life you want to do certain things. Like you say, I have my kids, I have a lot of things going on. So it's like you can be pulled in a lot of different directions. And sometimes you can't give the time that you want to everything, and so it's like when people are able to see, it's like, oh, well, that's why, because she's doing this and she's doing that. It's like, yeah, I'm not just
Right.
rarely am I just chilling. Like I have to make time to take, vacation. And even then more time I'm working.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Even then more time I'm working. So it's like it's a 24/7 type of a thing.
Never,
And
never stop. Never stop.
no,
Mm.
no.
Yeah, man. I mean, so people, I mean, there you have it. Um, Queen Tribe is the song.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so Queen Tribe is the song. Culture Vibes is the platform.
Mm-hmm.
Every Wednesday from what time?
7 p.m. Central to 10 p.m. Central.
And I'll be posting the link on my page. I had the opportunity to go over there. Once again, like I said, when you do things you probably don't know, and I'm not just speaking to Empress, I'm speaking to anyone. A lot of times, if you give someone a slice of bread, you don't know if that person hasn't eaten the whole week or the whole day. You know what I mean? But never take your role lightly in someone's, existence or their inspiration. Mermaid has the opportunity or has had the opportunity to do over 5, 6, YouTube-based movies, but at the same time, collectively, they've reached over millions of people. You know what I mean? So that's still a platform within itself. It might not be a blockbuster film, but anywhere that girl walks in Jamaica, people know her. And it might cost her. You know what I mean? Because if you see somebody that's less fortunate, she's not in the position to tell them no if she's starring in a movie. You know what I mean? So a lot of times she has to dig deep into the realms of sometimes what she doesn't even have, to appease somebody just to escape a situation. You know what I mean? So for someone like Empress to come from where she is and conduct the very first interview that Mermaid has had as a professional actress, is once again, giving credence to her statement of wanting to make a contribution to this cause and leave a legacy. You know what I mean? So, when I agreed coming to me and saying to me, this is the best interview that he's ever had, she is the one who made that possible. With Mermaid having her first official interview as an actress on any platform. You know what I mean? Remember, Mermaid have her own platform. She's a part of overall settings, and you probably are gonna get me in some trouble. So probably are gonna cuss me and say, "So what? You make people come from outskirts and interview me, and me can't even get an interview." But at the end of the day, you know what I mean? Like you made her first interview possible. So I say that to say not only to you, but to anybody out there, never take your role lightly. If you're in the position to help someone, if it's even a penny, do it. Never you know that you can help someone and find an excuse not to because you're only stunting your own blessings.
That's right.
And when you help someone, ultimately what you're doing is keeping blessings in rotation. And if you notice, it might never come back from the person that you actually helped. Always gonna come back tenfold. Always. And I'm a true testament to that, and so is Hempress Selektress. You know what I mean? Because like I said, it's gonna continue to grow. Like I said, there's a merger amongst us going on behind the scenes that we're discussing more, and once it comes to fruition, you guys, are gonna see what we have to offer, and I'm pretty sure it's not too many people that don't want to be a part of this. If you want to bring your thing to the next level, you know what I mean.
Mhm.
So anybody you want to big up right now?
Yeah, I want to big up overall settings podcast. Big up yourself, Fico. Big up mermaid settings. Yes, have to big up mermaid every time. You know what I'm saying? Big up to Higher Grade. You know what I mean? Definitely appreciate all of his support and everything he does for Hempress Selektress, Queen Tribe Sound, Culture Vibes. You know what I'm saying? Big up to Train. That's like my, he's like my day one from like we start this thing. You know what I'm saying? He's been there, riding with me even when, I wanted to like I stopped one time. Like, before I even started DJing, I was like, yo, this is too whatever, whatever. And he was just like, yo, you can't do that. You know what I'm saying? And he pulled me out of some different thoughts, about this
Right,
thing. So
right,
it's like if it wasn't for Train, I could have stopped like years ago and not even been here, doing this. So big up to Train every time.
right,
I want to big up Firestar, my brethren. You know what I'm
right,
saying? Firestar. I have to big up Firestar every time. Because
right.
Firestar was the person who gave me the name Hempress Selektress. You
Wow,
know what I'm saying?
wow,
Yeah, it was a whole meditation with that, to come up with something for me that describes me, if you know me, and then, the whole thing as me being a DJ. So big up Firestar, every time,
wow.
and just everybody that supports Hempress Selektress, everybody that tunes into Culture Vibes. Big up Daja, Positive Journey, Kingdom Nubia Radio for the opportunity, to allow me to have my show Culture Vibes running. We're working on year number 5. You know what I mean?
Wow, wow.
Yeah. So, just everybody who supports.
That's good.
I just want to say thank you and big up to everybody.
Well, I mean, we definitely are going to. I mean, is keeping in touch is an understatement because we're literally partners now, and
Mm-hmm.
and what we are aspiring to bring forth to the masses. I mean, the people who the aspiring artists out there. The people like yourself, the people like myself. From a multimedia standpoint. I mean, so we definitely once we lock this in, it's gonna be something that is for the ages. I mean, I'm just happy and very excited about all of the possibilities that lie ahead. I mean, so
Mm-hmm.
I salute you. I salute you, and once again, I thank you for taking the time out. I mean, as things progress, we'll definitely be popping in on each other. So, feel free to, forward over here whenever you feel like. There might even be some instances where I call you to, help me gang up on some of these artists and be a guest host, when your time allows. You know what I mean? Because
Mm-hmm.
and we can talk to them or whatever the case may be. And, hopefully, the same courtesy will be extended because I love your platform. It's amazing. I mean? So people, whenever you get a chance, go over to Culture Vibes, and trust me, it's something special. Something special.
Thank you.
Yeah, man. I mean, so Empress, you already know. I mean, we're gonna be in touch.
Mhm.
I agreed. Thank you for letting the cat out of the bag and telling us that the Empress had a bad.
No.
Um, Zoni is here. Big up Zoni. Bless up overall settings podcast, the musical historical bad class. You already know all the thing. Go big up Zoni. Zone. Long time I don't see you over here. You know what I mean? They have some new material out there. Big up Joe Jackson for the live checking in from California.
Big up Commando Joe. Yo, I'm glad you said that. I want to say big up to Commando Joe because if it wasn't for Commando Joe, I would not know I agree. So I have to say big up to Commando Joe. Enough respect and blessings every time, any part of the world you're there.
Right. Big up Dean Stewart. You know what I mean? For the live. Big up Father Pangi for the live. You know what I mean? As I said, big up Mermaid Settings, big up Mickey Settings, big up Sharpman Settings, big up Solo Johnson on the live. You know what I mean?
Yeah, bro.
Big up everybody with up on the live right now and all of the future viewers of this live. Do remember this particular interview will also be available on Apple what you call it? Apple Podcast. It will be available on Google Podcast. It will be available on Anchor Podcast, all of the podcast platforms. So we're pushing this particular interview and every interview that we've done thus far to the masses, you know what I mean? So you can't say, all right, I never have a time to watch it because it in my car. You can basically press play, you know what I mean, and listen to it from any corner of the world that you're in. If you don't understand what I say. So, Hempress, bless up yourself. We'll definitely be in touch. Big up to everybody with up on the live as well. I had a little complication downloading the music of the other artists that you're actually responsible for. Just tell the people their names and they can go over to their platforms, subscribe and listen.
So we done know already. Iyagrade, IYAGRADE music. There's Train, Big Train South is spelled SOUF differently. And then Firestar is very different. FYAHSTHAR. So can follow them on the social media, Instagram, YouTube, subscribe to their channels. You know what I'm saying? Big them up. Tell them Hempress sent you.
And Zoni is on the music on the live right now. He's an extended component of our family. You know what I mean? He's a part of our family. He's also a phenomenal artist who actually has a project out there right now. So
yeah, big up Tony. Him for checking email or something, because he's gonna be on Culture Vibes soon.
Okay. All right. So that link has already been made.
Big up Mermaid, big up yourself.
All right.
That link make already.
All right. So me need to just stop my nice and just exit. Okay, you guys, do remember Good Soup, the full movie, you know what I mean? Where I made my acting debut. Mermaid was in about her 5th movie. Mickey Settings made his acting debut. You know what I mean? It's available right now. We're currently at about 300,000 views on YouTube right now. So you can check out that movie. Do remember to check out Culture Vibes Radio every Wednesday. What's the time again, Hempress?
7 p.m. Central Time.
All right, then, and the link will be available on our page. You can also check out the archives and hear our interview, Mermaid's very first interview. Big up Froston anywhere you're there. And like I said, you can come check out the movie Good Soup on our channel. The full-length movie is there. In the meantime, between time, this is the trailer. On the other side, formerly of the big smashing group, dancehall group RDX. You already know, you know what I mean, dance, and you know what I mean, all of those big tunes, you know what I mean, the man himself, Delamar, will be over here. So do remember to tune in, tell a friend to tell a friend. In the meantime, between time, you can check out the full movie Good Soup on our channel, Overall Settings. If it's your first time here, please like, subscribe, and share.
Need any assistant?
Yeah, we are looking for you on B10.
Pico. How
are you?
I'm me, Sister Candy. You know remember me?
Like 3rd time this round week, man, I say. Yeah, I forgive me a number.
For real, I'll give it to you this time.
After me, I'm going to make a bun up like how you bun me up for really. Sky, where you are?
Daddy.
Me and Candy, a sister and brother.
After we do something together.
Oh, Daddy.
What about my daughter? Peter, where you are there, sir?
You know, say, Sky, me, come in.
I want to go on in there, sir.
So face the doctor found one.
Doctor, yo, where you doing on my place?
Where you and Peter now?
Catch Peter over my yard. Now my bed is no man.
Tell him this, me go sudden. Lock me up and pop me up and tell them throw away the key, girl. It's me for you and you for me, and that's the way it's got to be. To me, girl. Some say the wrong could not be right. Just see this love I show to you, girl. Where by my side is will you stay so we can see each other's true. Tell them this, me go sudden. Well, lock me up, pop me up, and tell them throw away the key, girl. When I'm just a stranger in your town who shouldn't be around, and I'm standing on solid ground. Your people try to keep me down and them take me for the clown, but my love for you is safe and sound. They claim me leading you astray, and it's them you feel your bed. Well, that's all fine and okay. It's just the price we have to pay with them standing in the rain. But for me, then you come brighter days, love. Lock me up, pop me up, and tell them show away the key, girl. It's me for you and you for me, and that's the way it's got to be. To be, girl. Some say I'm wrong, could not be right.